Austin Round Rock market stats are out, and today we're going to go over them both month over month and year over year. Things look better than they did last month. It seems like the market continues to improve as we've seen the last few months. That's absolutely what we want to see. A lot of that is normal moving into the spring market, but normally we see things start to speed up here as we move into the spring market. And that's exactly what we're seeing here right now. So looking at our screen here, we see February and March side by side. I like to look at things month over month just as much as I want to look at the statistics that have just been released year over year. So month over month, median sales price is up about 16,000. Now that median sales price is still almost flat, but down just slightly year over year. That's actually not too bad of anything. We've got a lot more inventory. We're seeing interest rates are slightly lower than they were last year. Things are gradually improving is what we're seeing. So interest rates are about 7. They were about 7.5 this time last year. But you can see median sales prices up a little bit month over month. Closed sales, we're up quite a bit month over month. We're still down year over year. Again, I think we were still catching up a little bit with where people's expectations of the market were and where the market actually was last year. But month over month, it's great to see that more homes are selling right now. So we've got about 600 more homes sold in March than February. That's great news. Of course, the sales dollar volume is up when that happens. More homes sell for more money. That dollar volume, total sales dollar volume is going to be higher. That's a pretty dramatic jump there, though, too. So we were right at about $1 billion in February. March, we're 1.44 billion. It's a big jump in sales dollar volume. Months of inventory, while that's up slightly year over year, it's down almost a month over month. Again, just for reference, I always like to say this each time. So if you've heard it before, sorry. But just for reference, over 6 months of inventory is considered a buyer's market. Under 6 months is considered a seller's market. You could almost consider us in a buyer's market right now. Most people are going to look at things and understand that it's much easier to be a buyer right now than it is to be a seller. You have a lot more leverage as a buyer than you do as a seller. But as a seller, when you've got a great product in a great neighborhood and it's priced right, we're still selling stuff at list price. We sold one more than 10% above list price here in February. And that is what happens when you price something right, when it looks great and it's in a good area. If you're not pricing them right, you're shooting yourself in the foot. We'll go over that a little more here later, but it is absolutely not the time to try to stretch a little bit. You have to price it right. And I'll give you some examples of why. So again, months of inventory better. We'll go through the stats here deeper in just a second. So new listings, that's up over 1,000 new listings. And active listings, we're up about 1,400 new listings there too. Pending sales, that's up over 600, right around 600. Again, this is the leading indicator for where the closed sales are going to be. So this is homes that are under contract and are pending. So they're pretty likely to close at this point, but there's still some things that can happen. So you're not going to see pending sales be exactly 3,064 in April for this month, but it's pretty close. Not many things happen at that point in time. Days on market, we're actually down 4 days. So homes are selling quicker. Great news. And homes are selling closer to list price than they were in February, slightly off where they were in March of 2024. So let's boil this down to what it means for you as a buyer and what it means for you as a seller. Again, as a buyer, you've got a lot of leverage right now. There's not as many buyers out there. And as you can tell, there's a lot of listings out there. So if you're a buyer and you're one of the 3,000 that's going to be buying this month, there's three for every buyer out there trying to know. And take that in reverse. We were at the past where there was one house for every 3 or 4 buyers. Now there's 3 to 4 houses for every 1 buyer. So you're in a much better spot as a buyer. You've got a lot of leverage, and a lot of times sellers don't list their properties right. Realtors don't list properties right, whatever it is. And you have a lot more leverage there when that happens. So look for listings that don't look great. Look for listings that look overpriced. Look for stuff that's been sitting for a while. There's lots of great ways to get a great deal right now. If you're looking for a new construction home, phenomenal time to buy new construction. You're going to get your interest rate bought down. You're going to get a great price. You're going to get warranties. You're going to get everything with new construction right now because they have much more supply relatively than the resale market does. And they have to move homes. So while a lot of these people may not have to sell, a lot of them do, and you got to find those people. But while a lot may not have to sell, a lot of them just really do need to sell. And it's finding those. Again, the new builders, they need to sell. They can't sit on those homes. They don't rent them. They don't live in them. They got to go. So as a buyer, you have a lot of leverage. If you want to learn more about that, if you want to learn more about interest rate buy downs, how you can use this leverage to your advantage, how you can get your closing costs covered, how you can get great deals on homes. There's a lot of ways to get a great deal on a home. It's not just the price. Reach out. Always here to help. As a seller, as I mentioned, we're still seeing some homes get sold for over list price, but they have to look great. They have to be in good areas. And most importantly, they have to be priced right. It's absolutely not the time to be aggressive with your pricing. So I'll give you an example of this. When there's 4 homes for every buyer on the market, 4 homes for every one buyer, they have a lot of options. They have a limited amount of time to go out and see homes. If they're looking at a neighborhood, let's call it the median price in the neighborhood, 600,000. There's one at 540. There's one at 580. There's one at 600. And then here's you at 650. They have a ton of homes they have to see. They're not going to go see the 650 home. It's not worth their time. They think, wow, this person's unrealistic. Very clearly, the market price in the neighborhood is around 600 with some variance, of course. Why am I going to waste my time at the 650? So they might go see all those other 3. They're not going to go see yours. It's not the time to list high. List slightly below where you think you need to be. If you say, hey, the median home price in the neighborhood is 600, list at 589.9. Let's make it look phenomenal. Let's make it look attractive. And then when you go to negotiate with these people, everybody thinks, well, everybody's just going to offer less. You don't have to take less. You can always say no. I listed at 589.9. I know because we looked at all the data. I know that's the right price and that's what we're going to take. And because I've got these other 2 or 3 buyers interested in this home, we're going to take that and that only. Somebody else is going to take it if you don't. That still works today. You just have to set things up correctly. And setting them up correctly does not mean listing your home 50 grand above what the data says you can get. I know you might think, hey, I did this, hey, I did that. Look at the data, leave emotion out of it as much as you can. I know it's impossible, but as much as you can, leave emotion out of it. And you'll be in a much better spot. If y'all have any questions about the Austin real estate market, I'm always here to help. Jordan.moorhead@kw.com or 512-888-9122. You can call or text at any time.